What is good, beautiful people? It's your girl Peach, NNESAGA's resident filthy casual, and a couple of weeks ago I got to preview the master build of Tekken 8. So in this video I'm going to be giving you my first impressions as well as a brief overview of everything we got to see on the day. But before I begin, I want to say a massive thank you to the beautiful people at Bandai Namco for inviting us down. I had an amazing time previewing the game and I cannot wait for its release on the 25th of January. So on the day we got to play through story mode, arcade quest and several other battle modes including versus and Tekken Ball. And I'll leave timestamps in the description below if there's something specific you want to see. In Tekken 7, we were given a recap of all key events leading up to the beginning of that game, and I'm happy to report that in Tekken 8 you do have the option to watch a recap of the events in Tekken 7, but it's not compulsory. Like previous titles, the Tekken 8 story revolves around one of the Mishima men and their traumatized offspring, and in this game we're focusing on the dynamic between Jin and his father Kazuya. And what I loved is that this game wastes no time in letting you know Wagwan. I mean 3 minutes into the story and I'm already throwing hands. You'll also be happy to know that the narrator from Tekken 7 is no longer about, and from what I have seen it seems that the story mode is mostly cutscenes followed by some battles, which honestly I'm not too mad at. Especially when the game is giving us pure cinema, like just look at this. Now, this might be a hot take, but I personally loved using special style in the story mode. Like, as a loyal Lily main, I just don't see myself learning Jin's inputs anytime soon. But that being said, a free hit string can only get you so far, even in story mode. So it was nice to be able to mash square and hit really satisfying combos without having to feel bad about my lack of skill. And whilst I don't see myself using special style in matches, I found it was really helpful in understanding the timing of certain combos, which I see being a really useful tool when you're trying to familiarize yourself with characters that you don't typically play. And ultimately, it just makes the game more fun. Speaking of fun, I spent a lot of time in Arcade Quest, which has quickly become one of my favourite single player modes in any fighting game. In this mode, you create your own chibi avatar to go on your very own arcade tour, beating up every rival along the way. Now me personally, I'm all for single player content in fighting games, especially when it makes learning fundamentals way more enjoyable. Max, who acts as your mentor in this mode, walks you through all the fundamentals of Tekken 8 through fun challenges and interactions with other NPCs. And I really love that the NPCs have their own distinct personalities and playstyles, in addition to the encouragement that Max gives you as you're playing through the game. Now, if the independent plot and combo challenges weren't enough to interest you, by defeating certain enemies and ranking up in Arcade Quest, you can unlock customization items that will help personalize your Tekken 8 experience. After completing the first tournament in Arcade Quest, you unlock Super Ghost Battle that those of you who played the beta should be vaguely familiar with. In this mode, you can test your mettle against the ghosts, who are AI versions of yourself, other players, and even the devs. Now, I'm sure you can see why this mode is exciting for a plethora of reasons, particularly for developing countermeasures for specific players, characters, or deluded older siblings in a way that's way more engaging than punishment training. According to Max, it only takes around 10 matches for the AI to mimic your gameplay. And I must say, watching my tech get downloaded in real time was truly terrifying. That being said, as soon as I was on the other side of my attacks, it became immediately clear what ways I need to improve, which in my opinion is way more fun than having to watch old gameplay. And considering that the more I play, the more the AI will learn, I'm really interested to see how this feature will develop in the future. I also had a go at trying to fight some of the game devs' ghosts, and while it was definitely a lot of fun, it is going to be a while before I start taking games from them. While you can access all of the customization modes via the main menu, you can also access them directly from Arcade Quest by talking to Max. As far as avatar customization goes, it isn't too bad, and I can't lie, I'm really enjoying having my own avatar in a Tekken game. You have a pretty decent selection of outfits and accessories, and I really like that the colours are fully customizable. For those of us who did play the beta, not too much has changed, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed in the hair options. Out of the 26 we do get, only 6 of them seem to have a texture, and as someone with curly hair, I would have liked to see a bit more variety. But to be fair, it's still early days, so I'm holding out hope for the unlockables in Arcade Quest, as well as any updates we might get in the future. The player customization menu has definitely had a glow up, and I'm really enjoying the jazz hop that seems to be in all the menus. As with previous titles, here you can customize your player information, as well as your heads-up display for when you're in battles. And just like in previous games, some of these items can be bought with fight money, and others need to be unlocked by playing through the various other modes in Tekken 8. Magic Mirror is a new addition to the player customization mode, which when turned on stops all opponent movement on a screen after the match is done, so feel free to use it as you see fit. Character customization has also seen some improvement. As the name suggests, in this mode you can customize characters' outfits, poses and colour schemes, so if you're not a fan of your fave's drip, or lack thereof, in this mode you can switch it up however you like. I feel like we get a decent amount of options in the base game, and it feels pretty balanced between the male and female characters. It also seems we get a bit more freedom when it comes to the level of detail, as you can change the size, position and even orientation of certain items. I also really enjoyed messing around in model viewer. Like if you're someone who creates content or just likes to take silly pictures in general, I feel like you'll have a lot of fun with this, as you have a lot of different ways to get creative. Moving on to the battle modes, in Versus we were able to play as the 32 confirmed characters, and we also had access to the 16 stages in the game. And even though I got to spend a good couple of hours with this game, it still wasn't enough. Like, I need to play it more, I need to take it in, and most importantly, I need to take a win. Because despite playing my hardest, I was getting beat up. We know that Tekken 8 is all about being more aggressive, and Harada definitely didn't pull any punches when it came to the graphics. Like, the level of depth and detail in these stages is absolutely insane. Even in the darker stages, everything is well lit, visually cohesive, and the crispness of these assets is truly something to behold. Like, that Unreal Engine 5 is doing everything it needs to do. Playing on the PlayStation 5, I didn't notice any slowdowns. The game played super smooth, and the loading time from character selection screen to the battle screen was not noticeable at all. Hey! So this was actually my first time playing Tekken Ball, but now that I've experienced it, I 100% understand why you guys were so excited to see it back. It definitely took me a while to figure out, and I do feel like having a decent understanding of whatever character you choose to play is really important for making the most out of this mode. But once you start to figure out the different directions you can send the ball, how to build up damage, and most importantly, how not to get hit, this quickly becomes a fun mode to enjoy outside of your typical Tekken grind, and I 100% want to play more of it. Now I must confess, as a more casual player, I definitely need to spend a bit more time with practice mode before I can fully grasp all of the new features that it has to offer. But at first glance, it definitely feels like there's more to explore, and I'm curious to see what the more experienced players have had to say about this mode. The command list feels the same but different in a good way, with a super clean UI to help you get familiar with your chosen character's moveset. And it really highlights the sound design. The beats you hear to help you get a feel for the inputs are really clear even over the background music. Not only is this super helpful, but it helps make the game a bit more accessible as well. Combo Challenge was a welcome addition for me, as I'm still learning the game, and I did find myself doing the combo challenges for characters I would like to play, just to see if I'd like their vibe. I didn't spend much time using the record status or action after hits function, as to be perfectly honest, I don't really understand them yet, but I definitely see how these features would be more useful for more experienced players who have specific setups or scenarios that they want to lab. It's also worth mentioning that the UI is fully customizable, right from the heads-up display to the frame data, and they also have both a simple and detailed style if you don't want too much going on your screen. And this is also something we see in my replay and tips mode. Speaking of, I really slept on this mode in Tekken 7, but after playing this version, I feel like it's way more useful than it was in the previous title. Like Tekken 7, this mode stores previous match data so you can run it back and identify different ways to improve your game by recommending punishes and sample combos that you can drill in practice mode. And I love that you can go straight into practice mode from the replay instead of trying to remember the combo and then going through all the hassle of setting it up in practice. So the final verdict, who is this game for and do I recommend it? Well, I would say this installment is 100% engineered for newcomers to the franchise. I honestly feel that whether you're a filthy casual like myself or Tekken God Prime, there are more than enough features and functions for you to enjoy. There was a lot that we weren't able to cover in this video, and there are a lot of things that we haven't even seen yet. Thankfully, you guys won't have to wait too long to get your hands on the game, as there's a demo being released on the 14th of December for PlayStation 5 players, and a week later on the 21st of December, Xbox and Steam players will be able to join in on the fun too. Once again, 1,000 gratitudes to Bandai and NNESAGA for inviting me down, and also thank you to you, the community, for supporting the channel and running Tekken 7 lobbies with me in the meantime. And should you have found anything in this video useful at all, let us know, like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.